I'm Natalie and I'm going to show you how to make my 3-layered boutique bow like these ones. Okay, today we're using blue ribbon. So I have the longest layer, the outer layer is 28 inches. The middle layer is 26 inches. And the very centre layer is 24 inches. I also have 2 6-inch pieces to make my tails at the end that I've pre-cut and pre-stiffened just using hairspray. And I'll cut the centre knot to size when we get to it. Okay, so this is my third hand. It's just a pin in some card. This is not my invention. I learnt it from a lady, Janine James. She has a number of YouTube videos and she also has a Facebook page, Crafting with Janine, where she does sell templates and things like this. But being in Australia, I needed to make my own. Okay, so starting with your outer layer, your 28-inch piece of ribbon. I do seal the ends, even though they're going to be glued in. I just like to make sure there's no little loose pieces. Okay, fold that in half and make a crease. And pop it over the pin right in the middle, like so. Okay, bring it in. Take it over the pin about 1/4 of an inch, like so. And then I just use a little bit of glue to hold that in place. Okay, the same with the other side. A little bit of glue to hold that in place. And then about 1/4 of an inch over. Okay, so then we have our figure 8. Then I prepare the edges, creasing those in the middle. Okay, now you want to put the glue, you want it to go across and down and across. You want the 2 outer layers to be quite flat, so you use a little bit of glue. Bringing this in again about 1/4 of an inch over the pin at that centre point and pressing it down into the glue, nice and flat. And same with the other side. So down the middle and to the side. About 1/2 an inch in. Oh, sorry, 1/4 of an inch in. Pressing it down, nice and flat. Okay, and then you have our outer layer. Put that aside. We'll get our next ribbon. Again, sealing the edges. Folding that in half to make a crease, finding your midpoint. Putting that directly over the centre of your pin. Okay. Bring one side over. Exactly the same as before. A little bit of glue just to hold that in place. Same with the other side. Okay, we have another figure 8. I'm going to do the same again. So pre-creasing, so we know where the centres are. And again, a bit of glue across the top, down the middle, across the bottom. take it over 1/4 of an inch. Pressing that down. Obviously, if your glue is drying before you're getting a chance, just need to add a little bit more in just to make sure that that's holding. And again with the other side, so down the middle, across each side. And pushing that down nicely. Okay, so we have our middle layer, or our second layer. And then we'll do our centre layer. So this one's the one that's a little bit more tricky. Making that crease in the middle, popping it over the pin. With the centre one, you will still be using some glue to hold it in place, but you want to try and use as little glue as possible because we will be doing folds in this, and the more glue that you have in the centre, it makes it more difficult to fold it properly. So just enough glue to hold it in place. And same with the other side. Now this time again we're pre-creasing the ends so we know where the middle is. So this time when we're just making sure it's being held down properly, we want as little glue as possible in the middle. So instead of doing it across and down like I did before, I'm just doing it across like this, which is the same direction that your folds will go. Because yeah, if you're trying to fold glue, it's going to be a bit difficult, a bit tricky. Again, so you just want that to go out that way, the same way as your folds will go. Press that down. Okay. Now we want to do some folds. Move that out of the way. Get rid of those bits of glue. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to fold this in half, like so. And then we'll bring up one side. Hopefully you can see this. Bring it up and down. Hold that in place. And the other side, bring it up and down. Like so. So that you're getting your folds in the middle like that. And I have a thread pre-threaded, and I just pop that through the middle to hold this all together. There's still some glue, it's still a bit stiff, so I use my board to pull that through. Make sure there's a knot already in the bottom so that I'm not having to worry about that. And then wrapping it around. You just want to wrap that a couple of times so it's nice and tight. And then again, I put the needle back through the other way so that it's really secure. Try not to bend my needle as I do it. Okay. I haven't managed to bend my needle, but at least it's all through. Snip that off. Okay, so now I have that, and I'll bring out the sides of my bow. That. And like that. Okay, so we have the start of our centre. Now I want to cut the centre piece. I'm going to use a slightly darker blue again. I keep it on the roll just because it's easier to knot it without having to worry about how much I've got. Okay, one knot, and then I double knot. Just really depends what kind of look you're going for with that centre knot. If you want something flatter, you could use that side as the top, or it looks more like a knot, there's that side. I'm going to use this, I might use the flat side on this one. Again, I know I'm going to trim these, but I just like to get rid of the little bits. Okay, pop a little bit of glue in the centre there. And my knot on the top. Down. Take one side around. Trim that to size. Again, I'm going to seal these bits. I know they're getting glued in, but it's just in case. Glue. Push that over. Same with the other side. We'll fix all our bow edges once we've got this stuck on properly. So again, just going to trim that, clean up the edges. Okay, so that's being held down quite well at the back there. Here's our top. So again, now we just move these bows, folds, so that it's the shape that we want. The shape that we want is that the middle parts are the flat parts. And the sides curl up like that. Doesn't always do it at once, but that's what hairspray is for afterwards. And once they're nesting, they do tend to hold in to place a lot better. This is where it's always good to have good ribbon as well, or pre-stiffen your ribbon before you make it, so that it holds its shape a bit better. So there we go. So now we've got our outer layer. Pop a little bit of blue in the middle there. And put this one in. Right in the centre. Hold it down. Push all the edges in so that it nests nicely. Like so. Then we have our other bow. Trying to get these edges right. Glue in the middle. Pop that in. Nest it in. This is where we do a little bit more zhuzhing of that bow, especially that centre bow, to make sure the folds are looking the way that you want them to. And then it's nesting really well inside. Bits of glue everywhere. So I'm trying to show what I'm doing, like that. So that's all nicely nested in. Okay, so then we have our tails. So what are those? Fold it over. I don't crease the edge, just fold it over to meet and then fold again. There we go. Seal those off. So, the other one. Bring it in, fold it over, trim. I'm sure you've all got ways that you do your spikes. That's just how I do mine. Okay, put my bow upside down. Diagonally across with the glue there. Pop one on, just flip it over before it completely dries to make sure that it's where I want it. Press it in. Other side. Okay, like so. Okay, so what I will do now, I'll clean off all my bits of glue, because it is still like it's a nice shape, but what I'll do is I'll spray it with hairspray and I'll just make it hold it to exactly how I want it, so it'll dry just like that.